Welcome back and thanks for staying with the show. Women have come a long way, and in South Africa, women have made great strides in the past 15 years, but the challenges facing women, like gender discrimination, continues. However, in the engineering field, things are changing more visibly and effectively through organizations such as SAWomEng, an organization that seeks to address the changing needs of the South African nation while identifying the brightest female minds in engineering and providing them with the crucial soft skills necessary to succeed in the engineering industry. Founded in 2005, the organization acts as an anchor and support base for young female students of all backgrounds and engineering disciplines. Now, Mabohlale Mampuru is a co-founder of the SAWomEng, and she now joins us from our Cape Town studio. A very good morning to you, Mabohlale.
Good morning to you, Desiree. How are you?
You know, in Sesotho, they say, Bizo levi ke seromo, which means, for the benefit of our continental viewers, your name is Mabohlale, and obviously, if you're an engineer, you are obviously intelligent. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Mabohlale, what is SAWomEng all about?
You know, SAWomEng is really based on 5 founding principles. We seek to ignite the engineering flame, which is really about retaining women in industry and making sure they're not lured by alternate industries. Mentorship is a very, very big theme for us, as well as what we call bridging the gap, which is about bridging the generation gap in the engineering industry. Every year, we also engage in a technical project at our annual conference to really sort of showcase the technical brilliance of our delegates. And then we're also about embracing the multifaceted nature of the engineering woman, because we feel like being a woman and being an engineer are not mutually exclusive. You can walk around in a construction site with a tub of lipstick in your pocket.
So you're also keeping that very important link between aspiring engineers who are still students and people who are already in the field.
Yes, that's a very, very crucial link for us. And how we maintain that link is by actually ensuring that women in industry mentor graduates and students in their 3rd and 4th years.
You seem to be actively involved. What are some of the major challenges that are still pervasive in this industry?
Do you know, I think there are a number of challenges. The big shock, I think, for a lot of women walking into the engineering industry is the fact that it's completely male-dominated. And it's also a completely different culture altogether, especially as a black woman walking into the industry. The language that's predominantly spoken is Afrikaans. I think that can be quite intimidating for a young engineer who needs assistance, who doesn't really know what they're doing, who needs to be trained. And I think that those are the 2 biggest challenges.
The one fantastic thing about engineering as compared to other fields is you can start something on paper and see it happen. I mean, some of us are traveling the national roads throughout the country. You see them getting fixed. One moment it's just land and grass, and the next moment you drive through, there's a huge bridge that's already been put up. What sort of creativity are women engineers bringing up, and innovation? What new ideas are they bringing to the space?
You know, I think, for example, with the technical project that we engaged in at this year's conference, which had to do with the sustainable development of informal settlements, there's a certain compassion, if you will, that I think women can bring to the forefront. Because what's becoming more and more crucial is understanding the fact that our technical skills as engineers are not sufficient to solve some of the problems that we have in this country. It's necessary to go down to the grassroots and understand the socioeconomic, understand the political, even the cultural issues that come into play when doing something like the upgrading of an informal settlement. So I think as women, we are very, very well equipped to really start to glean from the communities the sort of information that we need to know to make our designs more relevant and more accessible to the communities that we're trying to serve.
Wow, compassion. That's a word one never, ever thought they would hear being put in a conversation about engineering. So definitely things are changing. Now, Mabohlale, for aspirant young people watching us right now thinking, I also want to go into engineering, there's quite a huge spectrum of what one can do and study in this field, isn't there?
Definitely. I mean, I practice as a civil engineer, and that's really about infrastructure development. That's really about sort of changing the way that our country looks and making opportunities more accessible to people by providing them with water, with sanitation, with roads. But you could also become a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer, or even these new fields that are developing like industrial engineers. So there's a very, very broad spectrum, and we have a fantastic website which actually elaborates on each of the fields that one could actually engage in engineering.
Give us that address.
It's SAWomEng, so SAWomeng.org.za.
Well, what sort of support are you receiving to make sure that your organization is sustainable?
We have, first of all, we're a completely volunteer-based organization. So we have people who are working and people who are also currently studying as students who form parts of our executive. And the funding that we get is primarily from private companies, so in the engineering industry. And that's essentially how we're able to fund all of our activities.
We know we're talking about engineering, but we're also so excited to be talking to you because, as you say, when you talk about engineers, you expect to see big, perhaps pot-bellied men, white, Afrikaans-speaking. What do you do? I know you said you're a civil engineer. Where do you work? What projects are you working on?
I work in Pretoria for a civil engineering consulting company. The department that I worked in is called Land Engineering Services, and we're really about service provision. So we provide your civil services to townships and informal settlements largely. I've just finished a very, very big project for Johannesburg Water that was looking at the installation of temporary services in informal settlements, 45 to be exact, around Johannesburg. That was an incredibly fascinating experience for me. It was humbling, and I feel so privileged to be in this industry because as engineers, really we are equipped to literally start to change the landscape of this country. It's such an extremely gratifying job because, like you were saying earlier on, you sit in your office, you do these designs, and then you physically go out and you build things, and you can see them developing right in front of your eyes. So that's unbelievably gratifying.
Well, I must say your passion is infectious, and thank you so much for reminding us of the word compassion. Mabohlale Mampuru for SAWomEng. Thank you so much for making the time to talk to us.
Thank you so much for having me, Desiree.
Let's take a break.